Ilia quit on his stool, almost took Justin out in the second round. It looked like he had really tried to finish Justin, and then Justin started landing bombs in the third round. Ilia had slowed down quite a bit. Justin had him down with his two hands and just smashed a knee into his rib cage. You could see him go like that, and that was the end of the round. The end of the fourth round, Ilia quit on his stool. Both of his eyes were swollen shut. His nose was up. He'd taken so many punches to the face. That was the greatest fight of all time. You know, I'm a giant Ilia Topuria fan as well, and I think he'll be back better than ever. And I think sometimes a loss is like one of the most important things a fighter can ever have, because they realize like you can be beat, and you need to know that you're a human. You need to know that you can't just throw caution to the wind sometimes. You just engage in these wild scraps. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more tactical. Sometimes you got to realize like you can't take everybody out, and that's the case with Justin. He couldn't take him out, and he almost did in the second round.
Few topics in MMA create more debate than a referee's decision to stop a fight. Some fans believe a fighter should be given every opportunity to continue, while others argue that the referee's primary responsibility is to protect athletes once they can no longer defend themselves intelligently. That debate intensified after the defeat of Ilia Topuria, with many discussing whether the fight should have been stopped earlier or whether the intervention came at the correct moment. Ultimately, referees must make split-second decisions based on a fighter's condition, ability to defend, and overall safety, which is why controversial stoppages often remain a subject of discussion long after the fight ends.
He wanted to continue to fight, let the guy go. So he sits in the corner, tells his cornerman he can't see. And then he's got the doctor doing the eye test, and the doctor's saying no. It's like, oh, this fight's fucking over. But then they let him continue. But I don't know who threw in the towel in the fourth. It's almost like Goddard said, the fight's fucking over.
No, his brother said we're going to keep fighting, and then he looked into his brother's eyes, and then he waved it off.
Ilia literally could have walked off and been champ. If Ilia, when he hit him with that liver shot and Gaethje kind of went down, if he would have walked off, the ref would have stopped that fight. If you get hit with those liver shots and you kind of cramp up, you can't just get up. You kind of just are there for a sec. So if he walked off and Gaethje's just laying there, maybe the ref tries to stand him up.
This debate becomes so emotional because elite fighters almost never want a fight stopped. Regardless of how difficult the situation appears, most competitors believe they are one moment, one exchange, or one punch away from changing the outcome. That mindset is a major reason they reach the highest levels of the sport in the first place. In the case of Ilia Topuria, many fans recognize that a fighter's desire to continue and a referee's responsibility to ensure safety do not always align, which is why discussions about stoppages often remain controversial.
I think we just witnessed probably the greatest fight of this year. Ilia Topuria taking on Justin Gaethje. Now I'm gonna start off right here. I was one who picked against Justin Gaethje. When you look at Justin Gaethje's previous fights, when he's fought Dustin Poirier, when he's fought Charles Oliveira, when he's fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, when he's fought Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje gets dropped. He gets dropped and he gets finished. I mean, that's something that we've seen time and time again in his career. And what would make no different when he's fighting a guy like Ilia Topuria, where Ilia Topuria, what he does is he puts people to sleep. Max Holloway puts him to sleep. Charles Oliveira puts him to sleep. Alex Volkanovski got put to sleep. And you guys might hate me for this, but the best thing Justin Gaethje can do is retire. He should retire on this amazing victory against a legend like Ilia Topuria. I mean, I keep saying Ilia Topuria's a legend. He's still young in his career, but he's a phenomenal athlete. You retire on top. You save your brain cells. You ride off in a sunset. You beat one of the best athletes. You gave him his first fucking defeat right away with the White House belt and the undisputed lightweight.
The same mindset that helps a fighter become a champion can also make it difficult for them to accept defeat, even when their body is no longer performing at its best. Looking back, many analysts believe Justin Gaethje gradually took control through relentless pressure, refusing to allow Ilia Topuria to settle into a comfortable rhythm. By constantly forcing exchanges, varying his attacks, and maintaining a demanding pace, Gaethje steadily built momentum as the fight went on, turning the contest into the type of grueling battle that has defined much of his career.
I'm not saying he cheated or anything. I'm just saying, I guarantee you don't want to go into battle thinking, had this huge fight with my wife. You don't want any of those thoughts in your head before a fight.
I mean, Ilia Topuria, in previous fights, you could tell he always had like his family, his wife, his kids. I just watched a documentary that came out on Ilia Topuria, and he was just talking about how much he loved his girl. And that could have been his fault that they got a divorce. I wonder how much that had to do with everything.
It had everything to do with everything. It's all connected.
Yeah, Ilia's in the hospital. He's busted up. You know, I'm not a doctor, but his eye looked like he probably has broken orbital. I don't know that's not a fact, but I'm just assuming. And my plans for him are to go home and rest and recover and take his time. And you know, tonight was a rough night for him. I just want to make sure he's healthy and good, and not even thinking about him fighting again. Just want him to go home and relax and rest.
By the later rounds, the visible damage had become a major focus, and many observers felt the punishment was beginning to outweigh any realistic chance of a comeback for Ilia Topuria. That is where the debate over stoppages begins. Some believe fighters should be given every reasonable opportunity to recover and continue, while others argue that a referee must intervene as soon as a competitor can no longer defend themselves intelligently. In MMA, the referee's responsibility is to balance a fighter's desire to continue with their long-term safety, which is why these decisions often remain controversial long after the fight has ended.
Physically, now I don't know what the truth is, but all these reports are that he has 2 fractured orbitals and a broken nose. Just that alone, just the orbitals alone, like anytime you've got eye injuries, like anything severe with your eyes, long-term consequences vary. You know,
it's psychological.
Absolutely.
And your body heals.
And physical.
The body is resilient.
Like, I'm telling you,
broken bones make stronger bones. Like that is his orbital bones will be stronger.
It depends on where, though, Justin. The orbital bone, I had my orbital broken, and for 6 months, I do this and my tooth would move. And it's right where my sinus cavity is. You remember when you hit me with the spinning elbow?
Your tooth would move?
Dude,
when you push
right
on
here,
your cheek?
And my tooth would move.
Oh, God.
I still feel the soft spot. But this is a very weak area where your sinus cavity is. And you broke both orbitals and the nose.
The question of when a fight should be stopped has been debated in MMA for decades, and opinions remain deeply divided. Many coaches, trainers, and analysts argue that protecting a fighter's long-term health must take priority over everything else, even if the athlete wants to continue. Fighters often disagree in the moment, but there are numerous examples of competitors later acknowledging that a stoppage may have prevented more serious injury. That is why, after a physically demanding bout, the conversation often shifts from the result itself to recovery, rehabilitation, and rebuilding confidence. For fighters such as Ilia Topuria, the path back involves not only physical healing, but also regaining the trust and sharpness needed to compete at the highest level again.
What was going to happen to him? Walking forward with their hands down on the opening bell, you're going to get walloped.
People saying I'm juiced, what a compliment. People saying I got bricks in my fucking gloves, what a compliment.
Do you see the picture, the image? There's like rocks in his hands.
What a compliment.
Have they not watched any of his fights?
As ambitious as you are, you can never make everybody happy.
No.
That's why it's hard to be a champion.
Which sucks.
The pressure.
You know for a fact, you do not ever as a fighter say, I cannot see. It's over.
Right.
And he was counting on that. He said he had already stated it. He didn't need to say it again. I stopped him twice. That night. There's no...
Facial injuries and vision-related issues can affect far more than physical health. They can influence timing, preparation, and the confidence needed to compete against elite opponents. That is why many believe patience will be crucial for Ilia Topuria's comeback. Despite the setback, many fans and analysts see this as a potentially defining moment in his career, noting that some of MMA's greatest champions return stronger after difficult defeats. The key questions now are whether Topuria returns quickly against another top contender, takes additional time to recover fully, or uses this experience to make adjustments that improve his overall game. Whatever path he chooses, interest in his future remains extremely high, and many people are eager to see how adversity shapes the next chapter of his career.